Hello Virgo, welcome to your November 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a Sun, Moon, or Rising Virgo. And before we get started, I just want you to know that 2020 readings are going to be coming out soonish. I'm thinking early December is when I'm going to be putting those out. Take a moment to sign up for my newsletter just to stay up to date on everything. I have a lot of stuff coming and new things that I'm going to be releasing, so please sign up for that if you feel called to. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Onyx Healing if you'd like to as well and get more content. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to lay this spread out and then we will get started. Okay, let's start with these oracle cards, shall we? See what's going on. Joy is an indicator of deep wellness. Okay, so using emotions as a way to gauge how well you're doing is a good practice because that's going to give you more information than if you're just thinking about how you should feel, right? Or what you're lacking. It's kind of like centering yourself in the present moment. It takes work, it takes effort, but that's going to help you get in touch with what's really going on at an emotional level. And then we also have death. Ooh, okay, so rebirth. It's like you're coming out on the other side of something, like maybe you've shaken off a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't work or isn't flowing for you, and so now you're kind of emerging into that new space of what does feel in alignment with you. Whenever I see the death card, I see it more as how are you growing into something more? How is that working for you? What's going on there? And then let's see what else is going on. Desire. You are worthy of your desires. Be curious and explore your soul's yearnings. Let yourself want what you want, even if you're afraid you won't or will get it. I think that speaks for itself. And just know that this is probably going to be a big month for you. That's just my initial hit. Seeing desire and death on the table. It's like that brand new, bright and shiny transformation that you have going on. This spread that I'm doing is much different than usual. So we have past, present, future in the center. And these are oracle cards. And then I have your outer world and your inner world. No timeline this month. Okay, so what's going on in your past or what has already shifted out? Content with what I already have. So this is actually a nice card to have showing up because I think it was more of, I hesitate to say complacency, but you may have just been in a state where it was just kind of the status quo. There wasn't a whole bunch of evolution happening at that point in time, and so I think there may have been a little bit of stagnant energy coming from the contentment. I actually think being content is a good place to aim, but I think this ended up not working out long term. So this usually, when we're talking about, aside from gratitude and being grateful and content with what you already have, the energy of this card is this was working, but now I'm ready for more. And so I think that's what you're coming into. Let's see what's going on in present time. Nourish. So taking good care of yourself during the transition. So again, because you have death on the table, it just tells me that there are some bugs that need to be worked out in the system. And the Nourish card is highlighting, hey, this is what you can actually use to better support your body. Make sure you have a clear mind, a clear spirit, if that makes sense. And then in the future position, love your dark side too. So if you have listened to the shadow episodes on my podcast, then you know it's kind of like the being an acceptance of your darkness, of your dark side. Just not meeting it with hatred or disgust is a really important part of the process. And so loving your dark side too is a part of that, you know, because you're wounding the part of you that's been hurt, the part of you that isn't flowing as well or as easily needs just as much compassion as everything else that's wonderful about you. Okay, let's see what's going on externally for you. So this is everything in the material world. King of Cups. This kind of looks like a person, if I'm being totally honest. This looks like someone in your life, in your vicinity, who's either making an appearance, a reappearance, or like a figure in this. Let me see what else is going on so I can pull this all together. But because this is in the external position, I'm seeing this more as a physical person. Then we have the World. So things are getting clearer and really coming together. I think this has something to do with your desires in large part. The World is kind of painting a picture of things are coming together in the physical, even if you can't see it in the moment. So there might be a little bit of a disconnect between you trying to ground yourself and also just honor whatever transition might be coming up, and then knowing that things are going to fall where they may, like where they need to. And then the last thing we have is the Ace of Wands. I think November is going to bring you more energy. That's at least what's going on externally. Like there's more ahas, more opportunities, more energy to give to whatever it is you would like to see grow and evolve. I'm going to clarify this King of Cups right here because I want a little bit more information on what's happening with that. Nine of Wands. Okay, so there's some movement. Maybe this is like a connection that you've been manifesting in some capacity. So think like the right person. Whether or not it's romantic is really going to depend on whether or not you're manifesting partnership, right? You guys know I'm kind of lax on all that stuff just because it's dependent on what you're asking for. Business partnership, romantic partnership, creative partnership, I mean, any of those things will apply. Just think it's someone who's going to help boost you and push you forward materially, or someone who is really helping your current circumstances. The Nine of Wands is indicating a lot of speed, which I know isn't the normal, it's not the normal meaning, but that's what I'm getting from this card. So I think it's really going to help push you forward. So it'll be interesting to see who this is or how they show up. Okay, now we're going to go into your internal experience, your internal world. First thing, we have the Three of Swords. I'm getting a lot of fear off this card. I'm going to clarify it, but the immediate thing that I'm getting is afraid, defeat, or oh my God, things aren't working out. Remember, you have death on the table. So I'm getting more than anything else. It's less about loss of something outside of yourself. If this were something that you were physically losing, it would have showed up here. But because it's down here, it's more of the griefiness of your own evolution, which is why you have Nourish in the center of the table. Let me clarify this. Queen of Stars. Yeah, see, it has something to do with like your values. Something that you're valuing, maybe your career, you know, wanting things to go your way. There's something about wanting things to be perfect as well, right? Like if you're going through something rocky, or if there is a transition period, if you're afraid that you're not going to get to where you want to go, or you're not going to get what you want, all of that is going to inflame fear. And even if you let go of something that you know you needed to let go of, this can also be residual grief from that loss, which I know a lot of people get wrapped up in, but it's not a big deal. I didn't want that anyway, but it doesn't matter. Your body might still be feeling that grief, loss, and fear from the transition. So give yourself a little bit of time to catch up with the physical experience of maybe feeling like, oh my God, did we do something wrong? And then we also have the Hermit. Take plenty of time for yourself. I think it's going to be important for you to figure out, how do you recharge your battery? How do you give to yourself and nourish yourself in your downtime? You can't just burn the candle at both ends and expect it to work out. And so whatever transitions that you've made, I think it's time to integrate more nourishment in your life. And then we also have the Devil. Okay, so all those limiting beliefs, this is going to be a big month for you, in part because you're cleaning out all of the clutter, all of the internal stuff that might be gumming up the works. This is a good month to just like really tackle mindset stuff and figure out what, because we all have these, the crazy thoughts, the doubts, the internal bully that we have that tries to sabotage us out of really getting what we want, right? Like the Desire card said, even if you're afraid you won't or will get it, you know, still continuing to want what you want, hold space in the intention for you to want what you want. I think you're just coming up against the fear in part, and also the naysayer within you, the no, this isn't going to work out, no, you aren't deserving of that. And so all of this is being brought to the light. Love your dark side too. That's why we have this showing up in the internal. It's about working with that part of yourself and giving it some healing this month. So this is going to be a big month for you. And also keep in mind that once you're able to work through this layer, things are going to clear up after this. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in December, because I just feel there's going to be a lot of changes that come up in a positive way. Now we're going to do a 3-card pick. You're welcome to pick a card that is calling you. Take a deep breath into the diaphragm. Pick as few or as many as you want. Ask a question. Okay, card number 1. 4 of Pentacles. You might be holding on too tightly to something, or feeling as though you have a lack, like you're only worthy of pennies on the dollar. And so this is just reminding you that that's definitely something that's happening energetically. And that's the only way you're going to be able to tackle that problem, is if you approach it from an energetic solution standpoint. Card number 2, we have the Knight of Cups. It's reflecting that King of Cups energy. Again, I think this is the person or energy that's either coming into your space in some capacity. That seems to be an important factor here. So I don't know who this is or what the deal is. It just seems like there's some advancement with this character that's coming up. And this, it seems to be emotional in nature. I can't ignore that since there's cups coming up, but it could be really anyone you're feeling super connected to. Pay close attention to people who have, who are coming into your space and bring a lot of support and water into your life. And then card number 3, we have the 5 of Wands. You guys know this is my favorite. The friction is where all the good stuff lives. Like, that's how you're going to develop tools. That's how you're going to get support. That's how you're going to get clarity. You need the contrast in order to feel into the next step. So don't demonize this. Instead, use it as an asset, because it is. Allow yourself to kind of sink into this and just know that this is how you're going to get to those next steps and those solutions. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for a bit, everybody. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing. And as always, if you need to work with me one-on-one, you are more than welcome to book a session with me. I am available. So just go to onyxhealing.com or check out the link in the description box for more ways to work with me. I have a lot of good stuff coming up in the coming months. And I also offer more readings on my newsletter, just like little readings that you get sent to your inbox every Sunday. And so go sign up for my newsletter if you're interested in all sorts of content and more readings. And until next time, have a beautiful November, everybody. And I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.